Hello, welcome to another video. I've got this HP Pro, and let's have a look what it is and whether it works. It says it's a Windows 7 machine. It's got an AMD Athlon II, HP Pro, 4 USB at the front here, memory card reader, light scribe drive, and power button. And then if we spin it around, you can see on the back we have no power supply, so I'll need to put a different one in. Got a fan and video connections here, as well as digital audio, 4 USB, and then 6 audio connectors there, and network with 4 USB. So let's have a look inside and see what we've got. That's the side off. Ooh. We have got a 1TB Seagate hard drive here. It's got a date of 2015 written there, so 9 years old. We've got the fan there. We've got standard looking power connectors both here and here for the CPU. And then we've got front audio, USB, I think, SATA, and another USB connection, and the fan at the back. And let's have a look. We've got 1 stick of memory, which is better than no sticks of memory, and it is DDR3, which is better than I was expecting. I didn't know Athlon II systems used DDR3, although I kind of haven't been paying that much attention to them during that time period. But yeah, let's put a power supply in that we know works from previous videos, and then take it from there and see whether this system works. Interesting hard drive bracket there. This should fit a normal power supply, hopefully. It's got like a little clip here, so maybe it's expecting a power supply that's a certain size, but we can try this anyway. The screw holes look like they should line up, but I'm having a problem getting this in. Okay, that looks close enough. We'll pop a screw in. Here, this might help it out a little bit. And then we will... Oh no, this is fine. Thought for some reason it was 20 pin, but it's just that the cables are a bit tangled up. So we should be able to put this in the right place. It should just slide together like that. So I've got 24 pin connector. Whoops. Goes in here. I'm hopeful that this will work. I've got an idea for an interesting video or something I want to try out with this style or this age of PC. It's got a Windows 7 sticker, so it should be perfectly happy with Windows 7. In fact, it should probably, if it had 4 GB of RAM, it should be okay with Windows 10, but I don't actually know what the processor is, so we'll have to wait and find out. So, how I should connect up the hard drive as well. Again, I don't know what's on the hard drive, but that can be wiped once we get that far. I'm connecting up the SATA power for the optical drive, and then the power for the hard drive. And then let's connect this up, and then we can switch it on. Okay, it's got no PS2, it's USB only. Let's flick the switch on the back. Look for any signs of life. Looking for a light on the motherboard. We've got one way down there. And then I'm going to press the power button. Oh. Should we have a look at the setup? Okay. So we've got 2 gigabytes, or yeah, 2 gigabytes of memory, DDR3. From 2011, we've got a date of 2011. Got an Athlon II X2 260, 3.2 gigahertz. So that should be a dual core processor. Quite nice. We've got the 1 terabyte drive. Should see if there's anything in the optical drive. There is nothing in the optical drive. So should we see if it boots up? It's quite quiet after the initial sort of noise. It's got system recovery and diagnostics options on that screen, and it's got Windows. Let's see what version Windows 7 by the looks of things. So I'll cover up any kind of personal information, but this looks like a working PC. Oh, it's got a Windows 7 Professional and the HP wallpaper. Oh, and it just like logs on for us. Okay, so I've tidied up the desktop, put everything in a desktop folder. The drive has got 822 gigabytes free. It's got a recovery partition, and it's got a whole bunch of software on here. Acronis True Image, malware bytes, Spybot Search and Destroy, so maybe it's had a virus at some point, CD burner, all sorts of different software. And this little weird taskbar at the bottom is all sorts of strange. So there's the audio, then a whole bunch of blank things. Inspire updater, your device is ready to use, My Drive Connect, another blank, Genie updater, Avast antivirus, Avast again, and then another blank one. And when I was copying files, when I was copying a whole range, it was coming up with this program called Teracopy. I've never seen Teracopy before. It seems like it takes over the file copying for the system, which is kind of odd. I don't know if that comes with HP or if that's something that's been set up. But let's start Task Manager and have a look at what we've got. So it's dual core. We've got 2 gigs of RAM. It's not using that much. It's using 1.35. And let's look at Device Manager and have a quick look. Windows 7 Professional, AMD Athlon II X2 260 3.2 gigahertz with 2 gigs of RAM, and it's in 64-bit. So if we upgrade the memory, it should be fine with 4 gigabytes. And if we have a look in here, the display adapter is an ATI Radeon HD 4200. Yeah, so runs pretty smoothly, runs pretty well. I think what I'll do is quickly use the recovery tool and give it a fresh install of Windows 7. But yeah, this PC seems to be working quite well. It uses DDR3 memory with 4 slots, so that could be easily upgraded to far too much. Let's just do that for fun. Why don't we give it far too much memory and see what happens. So I've managed to get some 8GB PC3 Kingston sticks, and I managed to pick up quite a few. So let's see what happens when we put this memory in this system and boot into Windows. So anyone who wants to do some maths, you're looking at 4 times 8, which should be 32 gigabytes of memory. Assuming it works. Still a possibility that the processor might not support this much memory. The old memory is an interesting colour, almost a turquoise rather than a pure blue. So let's switch it on, see if it accepts 32 gigabytes of RAM. Seems to be. I think that's the nice thing about DDR3. You can go up to 8GB sticks. If you've got 4 slots, that's 32 gigabytes of RAM. Whereas on DDR2, even with 4 slots, it's only going to accept 2 gigabyte sticks, so you end up with 8 gigabytes of RAM. And that feels kind of limiting. Whereas this is certainly overkill for this system, but it's also nice that DDR3 lets you have so much memory. We've got a mini PCIe slot here in the back of this board. Let's have a look at Task Manager and see what it's doing, what it's saying about the memory. So yeah, we've got 32 gigabytes of RAM and it's using 2 gigabytes. Let's have a look at Device Manager. Here we go. Retrieving. Oh, it says it's retrieving system information at the moment. So we've got a lot more of these icons showing up in the bottom. One of them looks like a printer. We've got the same processor, obviously, and we've got 32 gigabytes of RAM installed, which is kind of amusing. still booting up, so it's still doing something. CXX6 engine, Garmin Express, Garmin, Epson, HP Protect Tool, Security, Realtek, Inspire Updater, CPU usage, and network. So I'm not even really sure how I would use 32 gigabytes of RAM on a system like this without going on the internet. But yeah, I don't think I really want to do that. TomTom My Drive not connected. So yeah, Windows 7 with 32 gigabytes of memory. And I'll go and run the restore to give it a fresh install. This is the BIOS showing 32 gigabytes of memory. This is starting the recovery process. Currently using about 83 watts. I pressed F11 to get into this recovery manager. I've got options of System Restore, Microsoft System Restore, Microsoft Startup Repair Tool, and System Recovery. Not entirely sure which to go for. Let's have a look at this. To use that, you must exit Recovery Manager. So that'll be to fix it. I don't want to do that. I want to System Recovery, and I don't want to back up my files. That's fine. Pretty sure this system will have been backed up many years ago by someone. The hard drive looks like it was taken out of here. It's missing these screws, so it's likely that someone's already recovered all of the data off this drive at some point. I wonder if this is a quick format or a full format, because we're going to be waiting a very long time if it's doing a sector by sector format of the main Windows partition. It's not going as slow as I thought it would be. It's formatted the drive and it's reinstalling the software and says it'll be finished in about 3 minutes, so that's pretty good. Estimated time remaining 1 minute. We're at 99%. Okay, so restoration is complete. Once your system restarts and you finish initial setup, you'll need to perform some additional steps such as updating security files, reinstall software that didn't come with your computer, and restore any files. Okay, let's restart and go back into Windows, hopefully. Wonder if we're going to get the an HP version of the Windows 7 out-of-box experience. Okay, we've got a mouse, got the HP wallpaper. Ah, interesting. If it includes Office 2010 maybe. HP Protect Tools, that looks funny. And it's logging us off for some reason and shutting down. Okay, let's see what happens this time. So I've just looked up the AMD Athlon II X2 processor, and this is the information here. It's 3.2 gigahertz and dual core or 2 cores, and it's 65 watts, and it's an AM3 socket, came out in 2010, and it's got a CPU mark of 1178 compared to a Q6600 of 1818, so it's probably not that bad really. Could be given okay performance, particularly with something like Windows 7, but 32 gigabytes is definitely overkill for this system. Setup will continue after restarting your computer. I also wonder what the fastest processor this system will support is, because if the dual core processor performs this well, then perhaps a quad core processor would perform, twice as good, and this would be quite a neat system really. Should we have sound for this to see what the HP thing is like? Okay, we've got sound. Let's go. It's using about 60 watts at the moment. The computer is personal again. Yay! Oh, I don't really want to register, so let's click later. Do you want to receive updates and alerts from HP? Yes, download and install updates automatically, or no, remind me later. I don't want to be reminded later. No thanks. Activate your Norton internet. No thank you. Yes, I'm sure. Register. Stay updated, protect. Congratulations, you have completed these steps. No, I didn't. Great. You can hear my cat meowing. Doesn't want to be on camera at the moment for some reason. That's a very Windows 2000 looking set of things. And we're back. I'm back in Windows 7 with HP Setup Manager trying to connect to the internet. Just close that. It's got like this HP Protect Tools widget. Looks like it's from Windows Vista. And all sorts of shortcuts to different HP things. Yola, create a website. Do they still exist? And we have a freshly wiped Windows 7 PC with 32 gigabytes of RAM. I mean, I think I'll take that out and put it back to a more normal amount of 4 gig. Got the recovery drive. Videos. Does it have sample videos? Oh, it does. Windows Media Player. Some wildlife in HD. Is this? Yeah, you can see the pixels. It's impressive how responsive and snappy this system is. It's got a standard hard drive. It's not SSD. I have put too much memory in, but it's just, yeah, working well. It's got Hewlett Packard's graphics. Change the theme, background, screen resolution. It's neat. It's a neat system. There's obviously a lot of HP, software, Cyberlink, all sorts of different things on here. E-readers, games, HP, Silverlight. Can anyone remember Microsoft Silverlight? Wasn't it a kind of flash player replacement that Microsoft wanted people to use? Not an internet security, PC help and tools, PDF complete, recovery manager. I don't know what this is. XOBNI. Don't know what that is at all. So there's loads of extra software on here that you don't really need, but looks like a nice little PC with decent enough performance. Yeah, I won't bother installing or connecting it to the internet. MSN, remember that. But I will end the video here so that this video doesn't end up being another really long video that takes forever to edit. But I might have a quick look at what this motherboard is and what processor it supports, because with DDR3 and the ability to put so much memory in, if you can get a good processor to go with it, this could be sort of moving towards being a PC that could be used with Windows 10 and more modern operating systems. Just don't know yet without looking into the motherboard and to see what it can take. So I've put Crystal Disk Info and Crystal Disk Mark on here. The hard drive health is good. It looks to be running in SATA 300 mode, and is giving an impressive throughput. Read and write speeds on Crystal Disk Mark are impressive. Those are good. So this is CPU Z, and this is the main board of Foxconn 2AB1H 1.0 revision 00, AMD chipset 785G, AMD Southbridge SB700, American Megatrends, etc. Memory, graphics, HD 4200 with 256 megabytes of RAM. And if we bench the CPU, we're getting this speed 275. So let me know what you think of this system. Would you upgrade the processor to something better? And leave a comment below. And thanks for watching. Bye.